Pattaya City Expats Club is a non-profit social organisation and our speakers are volunteers. The club as such assumes no responsibility or liability for the professional reputation of or the quality of services provided by the speaker today.
This is Duncan Foster. He's like, who's used Duncan here besides me? See, a really good thing, and I send people to Duncan. And Barry forced me to tell this story that he's trying to force him to change his name from Foster to Donuts. So he can be, think about it, Duncan. Say it with me, Duncan. Donuts, yeah, and you know, but he's not too donutty a shape. His shape's too slender to be a donut just yet. All right, so they've been in business a long time, and of course, nowadays, as we're finding that, you know, if you don't like the news in Thailand or the state of things, wait a week and see what the state of things is there. So he's going to give the update of how things are this week. All right, do not videotape this because it could get very truthful and we might have to edit stuff out of the final video. But anyway, come up, Mr. Donuts. All right, Duncan, Mots Services.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming today. It's great to see you all. Thank you, Elizabeth, for inviting me back. It's always great to be back. My name's Duncan Foster, and I am the Company Director of Mots Services. Now, it's been over a year since I last came, so is there anyone in here that has not seen me speak before or know who I am? Okay, so a quick piece about my business. Mots Services have been in business for well over a decade. We specialise in making retirement visas or renewing retirement visas. We specialise in helping you guys make driving licenses, opening bank accounts, and other ad hoc immigration services, such as 90-day reporting and TM30 certificates. Now, my speech is titled Year in the Life of an Expat. It's very tongue-in-cheek, because as I said, I spoke here over a year ago, and I probably could have been coming back every 2 weeks with updates on changes being made by immigration, being made by the banks, transport agency. So this year, I will try and be very careful of what I say today, because I don't want to upset the powers that be. But this year has been very, very frustrating, not just for you guys trying to keep up with all the changes all the time, making sure you've got the right documentation for visas, you've got the right financial amount in the bank. But it's been very frustrating for agents as well, because we keep having to change the way that we do our business to try and help you guys out when you need our help. So today, I'm going to talk to you about entry into Thailand, because that seems to have become a real thing now. It used to be easy. You used to turn up at the airport and go to where you want to go. It's not so simple anymore. Retirement visas, we're going to talk about how they compare to marriage visas, pros and cons. We're going to talk about banking process and how that's changed, and that has changed a lot in the last year. Transport agency idiosyncrasies, DTV visas, and then a couple of slides on additional information, and then questions and answers. Please, may I ask you very politely, if you have anything to say, any comments to make, or any questions, you wait till the end of the speech, just to give me a chance to let this flow easily and get this done as quickly as we can. Okay, so we're going to start with the visa exempt scheme. So as you can see on the blue part of the presentation, these are the countries that up until 2 years ago had to arrive on a 30-day exemption. And then the government, in trying to boost tourism, changed that to a 60-day visa exempt stamp. So when you arrived at the airport, you got a nice 60 days. The government now, in conjunction with the tourism board, have decided that that visa is not working. So they want to go back to the original 30 days. Now, I am sure that most of you in here are all on long-term visas or work permits. Okay, but we all have family and friends and know people that come as tourists. So anything you may get from this part of my speech today may help them because it has changed. Now, the 30-day visa exempt stamp worked anyway, but very kindly, they let you have 60 days. Now, the reason they're rowing back on this and they want to go back to 30 days exempt is that the tourism board are saying that most people that come for 60 days are only staying here 2 or 3 weeks anyway. So what's the point? And then they're saying a percentage of people that come for the 60 days are not coming as tourists. They're coming for nefarious reasons to carry out maybe working or being involved in laundering money or money scams. So their idea is to persecute everybody and go back to the 30-day exempt stamp. Now, it's not a nightmare, okay? Everyone's seeing it as a nightmare, but it's not, because you could come on a 30-day, you can make a 30-day extension at immigration, and then if you want to, you can then do a border run. Unfortunately, Cambodia is no longer an option. We currently take our customers to Laos, okay, and you can get another 30 days. So you can actually stay for 90 days in one trip, and you can come up to 180 days per calendar year as a tourist. Now, for years, this was being abused, and people were managing to stay in this country for 3, 4, 5 years as tourists. So at the borders now, immigration is spot on, and they are stopping a lot of people from coming back in. Okay, so going back to a 30-day visa exempt stamp isn't the end of the world. I don't agree personally with the reasoning of why they're doing it. 60-day was working as well, but this is happening. Now, the amazing thing, it says up here, pending Royal Gazette publication. They announced this months ago that this was going to change back, and still nothing's changed. So anybody coming in on the blue side of the screen are still going to get their 60 days, but maybe tomorrow that'll change to 30 days, because that's the one beautiful thing about Thailand. They don't give you any forewarning. Okay. So what I want to do now is run through the process of actually entering Thailand as a tourist or as a retiree or on a work permit. We're all aware of what the TDAC is, yes? Everybody know what TDAC is? Thailand Digital Arrival Card. So 3 days prior to you coming to Thailand, you have to go to the online form and tell Thai immigration where you're coming from, why you're coming, where you're staying, okay? And then you get sent an email, which you are meant to present to the immigration officer when you arrive at the airport. It's an easy enough form to fill in. Some people do pay me to do it for them because they're just maybe they're just lazy. Most of the time people are lazy and they don't want to fill out a form that literally takes 5 minutes to fill out. So what we have, and this is new, okay, is the Thai Immigration Management app, which is available to download. Apart from it doesn't work. Okay, so I downloaded it because I thought I'd better be prepared today to actually answer any questions. You can now do the TDAC on the online TDAC form, or you can download the app and you can do your TDAC on here. There are other parts of the Thai Immigration Management app, as you can see up here. So eventually, when it's working, you will be able to do your TM30 certificate on the Thai Immigration Management app. You'll be able to do your 90-day reporting on there. And also, and this one's quite interesting, you will be able to talk to the tourist police and tell them all your troubles and woes. So they're claiming it's going to be under 40 seconds to use the app. So let's see. But you have to scan your face to log in. That part didn't work. And say the only part that is working is the TDAC part of the form. But give it a go. I'm sure eventually it will work. Another part of this app is you can actually book an appointment to go and meet an immigration officer in your local immigration centre. I don't know how that's going to work. Okay, if you're going to push through all the queues and upset people that have been standing there for 2 hours, I'm not sure. Okay, so you've done your TDAC, you've had your flight, you've got into Thailand, you've miraculously got through the queues in less than 2 hours, and then you meet this. So this apparently is for, again, tourists, okay? So if you're coming on an exempt stamp and you're one person, and the key word here is cash. You must have 20,000 baht in Thai baht in your pocket in cash. Not credit cards, not banking apps, cash. And if you come as a family, you have to have 40,000 baht. Now, in previous speeches, I've always said to you, whenever you go into a Thai immigration website and you see all the information in front of you, that's just a starter. Because as I think you probably all know, that every immigration officer has discretionary powers to do whatever they want, basically. So even though this is aimed at tourists, if you're returning back as a retiree, I would suggest you do some pre-work and you have 20,000 baht in your pocket as well, because you just never know. So to avoid all the problems of arguing with an immigration officer, etc., be prepared, have your documents ready when you land, have your TDAC ready, okay? Why are they doing the financial documents? You can see up here. To confirm your travel readiness, to prove that you are coming to Thailand as a tourist. Now, how does 20,000 baht in your pocket prove that you're coming as a tourist? I don't know, but it is what it is. Okay, but it does tell you, be prepared, have all the right documentation in place, have your cash ready, okay? Now, you might all scoff at this, and I'm sure they cherry pick you out of the line when you're queuing up, okay? But it is happening. People are being refused entry because they don't have cash in their pocket, okay? I hear stories on a daily basis where this is happening, okay? So when you get to immigration and you're met with the smiley face, okay, it says dress nicely, okay, can't argue with that. Be calm, be polite. For all you lovely ladies out there, use your puppy eyes if you have to, okay? But just be prepared. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. All right, so for me, there's no excuses. If you've got friends that are coming over, let them know they now have to have 20,000 baht of cash in their pocket, and they shouldn't have any dilemmas. Okay, so you've done your TDAC, you've had your flight, you've got through immigration, and then you've got the TM30 to deal with. And this is a great slide because it kind of explains itself. Who has to do the TM30? If you're staying in a hotel, they will do it for you within 24 hours. If you're staying in a rental property, it is actually the landlord's responsibility. However, always remember, if you travel regularly, how would your landlord know you're coming in or out? And if you're staying in your own property or your partner's property, it's their responsibility. You have 24 hours to notify immigration to do this, okay? If you don't do it, the homeowner or the hotel can be eligible for a fine between 2,000 and 10,000 baht. Now, the good news for, hands up who's here on retirement visas. The good news for you guys is you're the only exemption. You do not have to do it if you travel in and out, if you return to your home, the home that you were in before you left. But if you change address, you do have to do it. Why is this important? Because down the road, when you use immigration, they want to see the TM30. For example, and I'll show you in a second, 90-day reporting. To do your 90-day report, you must have a valid TM30. So this is all things you should know anyway, but it's good sometimes to have a refresher. So, and I didn't know this. Number 2, you can do your TM30 by post. How you do that in 24 hours, I don't know. Okay, but that's something that I learned. So there we go. All right, but the TM30 is important. Every one of us in this room, unless you are Thai, should have at least a TM30 in your passport. Do all of you know the difference between the temporary TM30 and a permanent TM30? Okay, so a temporary TM30 is done online, normally done by landlords who are lazy, who don't want to go to immigration. But the first time you go to immigration with your temporary TM30, and it looks like an Excel spreadsheet, immigration will want to see the house book of that property, the owner's ID card that matches the address of the property that you live in, and sometimes they'll even ask for a shanu. This one not working? Don't be surprised if you go to immigration, you've got your temporary TM30 and immigration say no, okay? There are other documents, and it makes sense because anyone can write an address on an online form and not actually be staying there. So they actually want to see proof that you are actually staying there. Okay. Right. Retirement visas. There is a lot I would love to tell you, but I cannot. So if any of you are worried about agents being able to facilitate immigration financial requirements for your visa application, please come and see me at the end of the speech and I will tell you what is currently going on. Okay, things have changed. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about today is how retirement visas compare to marriage visas. But I like this slide, so I put it in. So as you can see, according to a global index this year, Thailand comes in at number 2 for retirees. Now, the noises I'm hearing are a lot of people want to leave Thailand because things have changed so much in the last year. But still at the top of the list, we're there. I'm not surprised to see Morocco there at the bottom, considering what happened last week. But I was very disappointed to see Brazil at 49, because that's a country I always like to have lived in. So, marriage visa v retirement visa. Why am I talking about this today? Because I'm getting a lot of customers now coming to see me saying, Duncan, what's the advantages of changing from my retirement visa to my marriage visa? The only obvious advantage is the financial part of it. You have 50% less than having a retirement visa. But trust me, making a marriage visa is probably one of the hardest things you will do when you come to Thailand. How do I know that? Because I'm on a similar visa. I'm on the parent visa. So until my children are 20, I can be on a parent visa, which then gives me the work permit. So I am here legally. I shake when I go to see the lady at immigration who does the parent visas, because you're actually walking in and you have paperwork that thick. There are so many forms, documents, photographs of you in your house that you have to prove to her for her to give you that stamp. And she will make it as hard as she possibly can for you. So even though I've been doing this for 15 years and I think I know what I'm doing, she will find something to say, no, go back, come back tomorrow. Okay, and obviously when you've queued up for a couple of hours, it's very frustrating. So let's have a look though. So a lot of people use the pension part, or the 65,000 baht a month. Chonburi Immigration, and the contact that I have there, she is now asking that if you use this and you have a pension, not another source of income, a pension, it has to be coming in for 12 months prior to the application into your Thai bank account. If it's coming directly from your pension company, she now wants to see a letter from your pension company confirming it's a pension and not another source of income. And if it's coming from a third party, so it's coming into your home country account and then being transferred to Thailand, they want to see a letter from your embassy confirming it's a pension. And a lot of embassies have stopped providing that service. So a lot of people are becoming unstuck. I'm getting customers coming into my office on a weekly basis who believe they've got everything. And when they get to immigration, the particular officer, remember they have discretion, is saying, no, go see an agent. Okay? So 65,000 baht a month income compared to 40,000 baht for the marriage visa. The marriage visa can be another source of income. Doesn't have to be a pension. Okay? If you have a marriage visa, they can turn up on your doorstep and make sure that you are actually living where you say you are married, you have clothes hanging in your wardrobe. Okay? Bonus for marriage visas, you can have a work permit. But for me, if you have the 800,000 baht in your account and you can afford to leave it there, I recommend you stay on the retirement visa because, as I said, marriage visa, that much paperwork, retirement visa, that much. In the last couple of months, immigration have been getting a lot harder on you providing your address when you go and make your retirement visa. So they want to see, as I said earlier, the documents, house books, owner's IDs. If you have your house registered as a company, they want to see the DBD paperwork, the company paperwork. Sometimes they'll ask you for a chinook. Sometimes they'll ask you for things that don't even exist. Okay, they just want to make our lives difficult, allegedly. Okay. So here we are, the 90-day report. See number 5. To do your 90-day report, you must have a valid TM30 in your passport. Now, incredibly, I have customers coming in on a regular basis screaming at me that they don't need to have a TM30. And even when I show them this, because this slide is the actual form that is on the desk of the immigration officer that does the 90-day report. So some people don't even believe what I say sometimes, okay? But you do need the TM30, so it is important that you've made one, okay? Up until recently, they weren't accepting the temporary TM30 as proof, but the last couple of weeks I have been accepting it. So things keep flip-flopping all the time, which makes things so frustrating for us all. But get a TM30 if you haven't got one. If you haven't got one and you need help, come and see me or come and see another agent. We can help you get one. Okay, this one. I'm sure you're all sitting here and looking at that slide going, I would never make that mistake. I would never leave Thailand on a retirement visa without a re-entry permit. I get at least one person a week who leaves Thailand. They haven't made a single entry permit or a multiple entry permit before they travel. They come back in. The immigration officer smiles and stamps them in as a tourist. It happens all the time, even to people that think it wouldn't happen to. Yeah? Please, for me, when you renew your visa or if you're making a new visa, just pay for a single entry permit. It's 1,000 baht. Okay? That gives you peace of mind that if you have to rush out of the country, you're not going to make the mistake. You're going to be able to come back in. If you want to make a further re-entry permit, you can. Or obviously the multiple entry lasts a year. You can travel as many days as you want in and out of Thailand. Honestly, it happens all the time. You come back in as a tourist, and then you have to go through the whole process again to make your new visa. It costs a hell of a lot more money than 1,000 baht, okay? But it happens a lot, okay? And unfortunately, for people that need my help, for the things that I can do, it costs them a lot of money to then get their visa back. So don't all think we're perfect and we don't make these mistakes, because it happens a lot. Okay, here we go. This part causes me a lot of problems. Who remembers this? Hands up. Really? Only a few of you? 18 months ago, people having their bank accounts closed, having their bank accounts frozen by Bangkok Bank, making us feel like we should belong and we live here. Okay. So for those of you that don't know about this slide, those of you that are new, about 18 months ago, a particular branch of a particular bank in Pattaya had their entire staff arrested because they were helping a certain country make bank accounts illegally, and this is allegedly, of course, and those bank accounts were being used for money laundering, scams, etc. And this was in Pattaya. So the TV crews were there when the police walked in and walked all the staff out because the staff were complicit in this. The knock-on effect of this is now to open a bank account, even on a non-O visa or non-OA visa, is incredibly difficult and subjective to the bank that you want to use. Now, I can talk from personal experience. I went to Krungsri Bank last year. I've lived here 20 years. I have a Thai wife. I have 2 Thai children. I went through the process, which we'll talk about in a second. They said to me, wait 4 weeks and then we'll let you know. I said, well, I live here. I've got the right visa. What's the problem? No, we have to check you out. Anyway, 4 weeks later, I was refused to have a bank account. Even though I have bank accounts in 3 other banks, this bank refused me. So even if you have a good visa, you've lived here a long time, that's irrelevant. So do your homework before you go to specific banks if you want to open new bank accounts. The best banks to go to are the ones in the malls, because the malls are used to dealing with foreigners. They have English-speaking staff. Okay? Most of the banks now ask you to prove that your phone number belongs to you and not a third party, or a third party got you that third phone number. Okay? Most of the banks want to see a residency certificate from immigration to prove that you live at the address you say you live at. And they also want to see, again, some of them, all your documentation pertaining to that address. Now, my agency, when we help people with their visas, we are currently using Capricorn Bank. Capricorn Bank want to see a home country driving license or a national ID card as a second form of ID. But a lot of us who have lived here a long time have seen our licenses expire from our home countries. A lot of countries don't have national ID cards with a photograph on it. So you can't open a bank account now at Capricorn Bank, even if you've lived here 20 years and you've done nothing wrong in Thailand. Other banks will accept a Thai driving license. Okay? So what you need to do is you need to shop around. This is very true. It says if you're refused, try another branch of the same bank. That can happen. You go into one branch, they say no, and the one in the next soy says yes. So shop around, okay? Go to immigration, do that part, all right? But as I say, in my experience, banking now is causing a lot of problems for a lot of expats in Thailand who need help with their visas. So this is basically showing you that all over Thailand, there are problems opening different bank accounts with different branches. It's not a complete list. It's just a slide that I found. In Pattaya, I would say quirks are helpful, but you have to go through this checklist. For whatever reason, they didn't like my face. Capricorn Bank are helpful if you have a valid driving license from your home country. Okay? So banking has become a source of frustration for all agents. Just leave it at that. Okay, transport agency idiosyncrasies. So again, every transport agency that I deal with in this surrounding area have different rules. So we'll start with Banglamung. Banglamung, which is probably the busiest expat transport agency, still insists that we all, if you want to use their service, go in person to book an appointment. Okay? Rayong, Chonburi, Bangkok, you can book online. But Banglamung insists that we go twice, one time to book an appointment, the second time for the appointment date. Now, Banglamung Transport Agency are currently 6 weeks in advance to either make a new license or renew a license. So if your license is expiring in a month's time, if you're going to use Banglamung, you're going to be driving around without a license for a minimum 2 weeks. Rayong is about a month in advance. Rayong you can book online, so that's a good thing. Chonburi is about a month in advance. Now, I will promote my business here. I have a VIP service where I can get things done very quickly, but it's at a different transport agency. So Banglamung Transport Agency currently have 2 tests. They have the brake test and the eye colour test. Now, I made my license 2 weeks ago, and in living here in 20 years, it's the best I've ever seen it. They only see 10 expats in the morning and in the afternoon, so it's streamlined. They have new machines for the testing. They're so simple to use. If you can't pass them, you shouldn't be driving anyway. And I was in and out of there within an hour and a half. In previous experiences, I've been sat there all day. Okay, so Banglamung, I will shout its praises. They do things well. It's organised. but you're going to wait 6 weeks for an appointment. Chonburi, Rayong, and Bangkok currently have 4 tests for you to do. So if you have problems with your eyesight, I wouldn't recommend using these places. You do the brake test, the color test. You do your peripheral vision test. So you look into a monitor, you have lights flashing left and right, and you have to press the relevant button to where the lights are flashing. And then you have depth perception, which is lining up the 2 sticks with a remote control. And a lot of people get nervous with this one. You normally find you pass it, but it is quite stressful. Some transport agencies, if you're changing your license, so you're changing, let's say, your UK license to a Thai license, they want to see an international permit and the corresponding license to it. Whereas other transport agencies are happy just to see the international license. Now, recently I saw on some government pages, there are talks that if you are changing your home country driving license to a Thai driving license, you will have to do criminal checks. What is not clear is if the criminal check is in your home country or at a Thai police station. And at the moment, even though this is in writing, the transport agencies are not doing this. Okay, so if you are sat here and you're new and you want to make a driving license, I would do it quickly. Because if you have to make a criminal check in your home country, I imagine that's not going to be plain sailing. Okay. And these are the current fines from April the 1st, 2026. So my one I always look at, because I have 2 sons that drive like crazy on their motorbikes, is the one for no helmets. Where's that number? Helmets number 6. So that used to be 1,000 baht. They can now fine you up to 2,000 baht. Number 1, I'm sure no one drives over the speeding limit here, but they can fine you up to 4,000 baht. And driving while drunk, you get what you deserve if you're driving while you're drunk. Okay, but this is currently what they can fine you if they so wish. Are you all aware of the law on when you can be stopped by a police officer for a road traffic offence? So they say that if you have not caused a problem, so for example, you're driving along on your motorbike, you've got your crash helmet, you don't go over any lines that you shouldn't go, you don't go through any lights, and a single police officer jumps out in front of you and says, stop, they're not actually allowed to do that. There has to be a minimum of 2 police officers to stop you, and one of them should be a sergeant or higher. All right? Now, if you want to argue your case when you do get stopped, good luck, okay? But that's what it is. Okay, DTV visa. When I last spoke here, I say over a year ago, I was shouting the praises of this visa. I think it's a great visa for anyone under 50 who wants to stay here long term. They get a 5-year visa. They come in for 6 months. They can then extend it by 6 months at their local immigration office. And then they have to leave Thailand for a couple of days, and then they come back in and start that process again. And I thought that was a great visa. And lots of people took advantage of this. They came over, they opened bank accounts, and they carried on with their lives. And then Bangkok Bank happened. And one of the reasons Bangkok Bank happened was because, again, certain countries were sending people here on these visas to open multiple bank accounts to carry out money laundering, scams, etc. So the banks and the transport agency have decided that your 5-year DTV visa is now nothing more than a glorified tourist visa. So the banks started shutting down anyone's bank accounts that were on a DTV visa. And anybody coming in now with the DTV visa are not allowed to have a bank account. Full stop in Chonburi. There are rumours that you can do it in further provinces up north, but you imagine coming here for 5 years of your life and not being able to open a bank account, having to pay ATM fees all the time you want to bring money over. Driving licenses. As you're a tourist, you can only ever get a 2-year driving license. So once you've made your first license, you can then not extend it to 5 years. It has to be 2 years. And there are rumours, so how it works, so that there is what they call a soft power DTV visa, which can be you're coming here to learn Muay Thai, or you're coming here to learn Thai cooking, and you have to register with a school or a Muay Thai gym that has the correct license. And that school or Muay Thai gym, once you've paid their fee, they will give you a letter to say you are invited to train at the gym or learn how to cook muscle man curry. And they will give you that for 6 months. So what happens? You get the first 6 months, you've paid for that, and then for the next 4.5 years, you're coming here as a tourist. So now there are rumours that they will change the requirements. Potentially you'll have to have an invite from a Muay Thai school for 9 months at a time. Okay? So they're making that harder as well. This was designed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This had nothing to do with immigration. So immigration were never a fan of this visa in the first place. Okay, so they've started to tighten the screws as well. So great visa if you're under 50. I do get requests from people who are on retirement visas to say, is it worth changing to a DTV visa because it's 5 years, not 1 year at a time? Absolutely not. Do not go onto a DTV visa because in my opinion, one day this visa will cease to exist. Okay, so stay clear. Okay, this is just a couple of slides to look at overstaying in Thailand. Again, something that none of us in it would ever do. Again, I get a lot of people walking into my office saying, Duncan, I've overstayed by 200 days. I say, okay. I say, why? Oh, I just forgot. Okay, so this is the fines, if you like, or the bans. The most important thing here, and you'll probably be surprised, but I bet you all know at least one person who's here on overstay, you just don't know it. But the most important thing is if you are on overstay, hand yourself into immigration. Do not get caught on overstay. Certainly do not get arrested and prosecuted because everything becomes a lot worse. Okay? And honestly, as I say, I've had people come in and they've been on overstay 3 years and they say, what can I do? And nothing. I can do nothing. Okay? And lastly, by numbers, we're going to go over the speech and just have a look back. So, instead of losing your visa because you don't make a re-entry permit, pay 1,000 baht to get a single entry permit when you renew your visa. If you travel regularly, get a multiple entry visa as soon as you can. You can be fined if you don't do your 90-day report up between 2,000 baht. But if the officer is having a bad day, they can fine you actually up to 5,000 baht. If it's more than 10 days, it's 500 baht per day. DTV visa, the application for DTV visa is dependent on what country you make the application in because you have to make the application outside of Thailand if you do it legally, and you have to have a minimum 500,000 baht in your home country bank account 3 months before application. So on average, the DTV visa for 5 years is 10,000 baht, plus the school fees if you use the soft power DTV. 400,000 compared to 800,000 for marriage visa compared to retirement visa in your bank. Let's not worry too much about the dollar. 24 hours for your TM30 if you re-enter the country and you're not on a retirement visa, staying in the same property that you were previously. 90-day reporting, very important. A lot of people, I'm sure you all know, but a lot of people don't realise that when you leave the country and come back in, if you're on a non-O visa, for example, your 90-day report resets from the day you come back into Thailand. Again, a lot of people make that mistake and they don't realise, and then they get in trouble further down the line, especially if they don't have a TM30. Okay. Okay, this is my partner. This is Mott of Mots Services, and this is your turn. So any questions and answers, if you put your hands up, I'm sure they will bring a mic to you. Be nice. if I can't answer the question, I'll happily take your details and get back to you at a later stage.
Just before the first question, I just want to acknowledge that that talk was extremely clear, wonderful visuals, and really well done. Thank you so much for that talk.
Absolutely agree with Ren. I have a couple of questions. I'm on a DTV visa, and you were scaring the hell out of me.
Hold the mic closer.
Oh, you were scaring the hell out of me with a lot of what you were saying. I have a DTV visa. What I wanted to know is two questions. One, can it be transferred to a retirement visa? No, there's
No.
that's
You would have to leave the country, have the DTV visa cancelled, which you can't cancel for 5 years because there's multiple entry. So you would have to wait till it runs out and then come in as a tourist to make a retirement visa.
okay. And then the second one was you'd mentioned Cambodia is not a border run anymore. What's the best border run?
We currently use Lao, which is unfortunately it's a day trip. So you get picked up around 5 o'clock in the afternoon and you get back 5 o'clock the next day.
And that's something you organise?
Yes.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks, Duncan. Great talk. I had a question. I went to Australia at Christmas time, came back in on the 1st of January this year, and I forgot to go online and order my back entry with myself, my wife and my daughter, who are both Thais. And what happened to me was I just had to fill out a form at a computer right there at immigration.
Yes.
And they sent me the email anyway. Is that something you want to just address quickly? And
Is that
thanks
the
for talk.
TDAC? You're talking about the TDAC?
Yeah.
The entries. Yeah. So if you haven't done it and you arrive into Thailand, they have got machines where you can do the TDAC while you wait to queue up for immigration. So it's not a disaster. I also get told a lot by, again, my customers that sometimes they don't even ask to see it. Okay. They just cherry pick when they want to. But yeah, if you haven't done it, you can do it when you arrive into Thailand.
I've had trouble with that very form. There's a place in there where it asks you for a return flight. Well, I live here. I don't have a return flight. And so every time I try to do the form without the return flight, it rejects my entry of the form. What do I put in for the return flight to get them to approve the form?
I was told that has been changed and you don't have to put a return flight number in there. But I don't know how recent that is. I've never had to use it myself. And most people I do it for do have return flights.
Well, I just did it about 3 months ago, and they wouldn't approve my form beforehand. When I got in, they filled it out there. Some Thai guy filled it out, put it on his phone, and got a receipt for it, and we went through immigration. But 2 or 3 times now, I've tried to fill out the form, and they keep asking me for the return flight. I don't have a return flight.
Okay, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Actually, about TM30, I have my own experience, and I had the same problem. You just put fly back, not real, just number fly. You could be back, and it's work. They don't check your flight. It's just information. For example, I have a real flight, for example, Su-127, and fly back, I put Su-130. It's okay. This is, yes, but it's work, because otherwise I wouldn't enter, I wouldn't have got this permission. So.
And to this point, I can add something, because right now in TDAC form, the backflight is not the required field. You can leave it blank. I did so 1 month ago, and I came here without any backflight in my TDAC. It's okay, so you don't have to be a liar. You just leave it blank.
I recently renewed my 5-year driving license at the age of 80. I made the mistake of pushing my luck and going with everything the first time, although they won't do it first time. They only want the passport. So I had all the documents ready, and they just then gave me an appointment form, which ticks off what was valid. The test you do online, you print that off. That is valid for 6 months.
Right.
The immigration letter is valid for 3 months.
Right.
The only thing that wasn't valid for the appointment I made was the medical certificate, which is only 1 month.
Right.
So that was easy to renew, if you like. Everything was fine. I did all that. The second appointment was 3 weeks after my birthday date, if you like. So I had no problem with that. But when I went for the appointment, very easy. Within an hour and a half, the test was simply pressing the accelerator, and when it turned from red to green, that was it, nothing else. You then paid 505 baht and waited for your driving license. All done very quickly. I was out at 10 o'clock, and I've got a 6-year driving license now, because if you go after your birthday, that means you'll get 6 years, not 5 years.
Right.
So very easy. The lesson is, do not try to book on, you can't book online. Go and make the appointment, just take your passport and their visa, and then adhere to what they're telling you. Give you a little document telling you what's required. In the case of the online thing, you should actually print it off. Don't just go with a photo. You print it off, and I say the immigration letter is straightforward. If anyone wants me, that goes there. That was my experience on it. Anyway, I've got my driving license at 80 years old. I can hardly see, I can hardly walk.
Okay, so thank you, because you've just reminded me. I actually forgot something in my speech. There has been a couple of changes recently at the transport agency. You now have to have a minimum 15 days left on your visa if you want to renew your license or make a new license. If you are making a new license, you have to have a minimum 6 months validity on your home country license. And as this young man just told us, now residency certificates that used to be valid only for 30 days are now valid for 90 days. So that's a recent change. A good one, a good change.
I've been planning to relocate here for a long time, and I was originally going to come in 2022, and now I got derailed by COVID, and then I had some medical things happen, and then I guess what really changed I've had a retirement visa a number of times. I did it myself, and then used an agency a couple of times, and I thought that's the path I'd be on to live here. And then in 24, I heard about the changes in the tax policy in Thailand, and it really concerned me. And I guess I can't see living here if I pay income taxes on retirement income. And I don't know whether I came in a little late. I don't know whether you covered this, but from what I know at this point, the LTR visa seems like the only one to give you some tax protection. And I guess I'm planning to look into that. Maybe, I guess you can do it yourself, but I'd probably try to find somebody to help me. And I just wonder if you have any comments on the base issue is the taxes, and then the LTR is a possible path.
Okay, if you talk to me when we finished speech, I would talk to you regarding the tax issues.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
In regards to the 30-day entry, is there a reversion to the old system where you can apply for a 60-day tourist visa, or is that finished now?
No, you can. On that slide, you can get a 60-day visa on arrival. So you do that in your home country. So you can get that. Yes.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Just a quick question on driving licenses. I did the same as this gentleman. I got a 6-year, and then I moved. Do I need to change my address, or if so, how quickly do you need to do it? And if you do you have to apply for a new license, or will they just?
How long have you got left on your current license?
5 years.
5 years. So, okay. So I believe for insurance purposes, you should have the correct address on your license. You don't necessarily have to do it unless that's something that you are concerned about. It takes a few days. You still have to go to the immigration office and get a residency certificate for your new address. You don't have to book an appointment at the transport agency. You can just go and they will change your license. Not a new license, no.
My question is, what is the earliest term to apply for a new license, driving license, or maybe I need a new one? Because my Thai license expires in this December. When I can apply for a new one?
You can apply 6 months before expiry date or up to 1 year after expiry date.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm here on a retirement visa, but I've heard talk about the elite visas. Could you just give a very quick summary of the elite visas just to see what the difference is between a retirement visa and an elite visa?
Okay, it's not a service that I do, but I can tell you what I know. So the elite visa is fantastic for people that are very rich and don't mind paying the exorbitant fees to get that visa. It was actually, up until a year ago, considered a tourist visa. Okay, so some of the perks that you get with the retirement visa, you don't get with the elite visa. So for example, you used to only get a 2-year renewal on your driving license. That has changed. And I believe that when the elite visa originally came out, there was lots of perks to it, lots of nice things you could get. And over the years, that's dwindled. I think the only real perk you get now is picked up at the airport and driven straight through. If you've got the money and you don't mind paying it, then go for it. Okay, that's all I can say. Well, I don't know the fees now. It used to be something ridiculous like 3 million baht for a 15-year visa, something like that. As I say, I don't do it as a service, but it's a lot more expensive than making a retirement visa or the LTR visa, which was mentioned earlier. The LTR visa, you have to be able to show that you have an income of $80,000 per year. And then that visa is good for a long time too. I recommend the LTR visa.
Good morning. First of all, I'm right here.
Hey.
Thanks very much for the talk. The other gentleman asked you about LTR visa and taxes, and you said you would answer it offline, but I'm also interested in the answer. Could you, and probably other people here too.
I'll talk to you after the speech.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask about the driver's license. What's the rate that you charge for the various cities that you said you deal with licenses? Are they the same price to go to Banglamung as Rayon?
Okay, so my agency, we currently use Banglamung or Chachoengsao currently. We were using Rayon, but they very nicely told agents not to go back there. We then moved to Chonburi. Same thing happened. Then we moved to Bangkok. Current rates, it's a standard service. It depends what you need. So if you're making a new license or renewing a license.
Renew.
So for renew, for Banglamung, our standard fee for one license is 3,500 baht. For 2 licenses is 5,500 baht. We facilitate all the paperwork. If you need to do the training, we can help you with that. We take you there. We're there on the day with you. So, for example, I had a guy walk in yesterday, and this is why it's good to use an agent. And he came in and he said that he hadn't used my service. He'd done it himself. So he went there to get his car license renewed. When they handed him his license, unbeknown to him, they gave him a motorbike license, and he doesn't even drive motorbikes. He put it in his pocket, he walked out. And then 6 months later, he's finally looked at his license and he's realized he's been driving on the wrong license. So that kind of mistake would never happen with us because we check everything. For our VIP service to Chachoengsao, where we can get things done an awful lot quicker than 6 weeks wait at Banglamung, we charge 5,500 baht for 1, 7,500 baht for 2. Again, that includes all documentation, training, and we take you there and bring you back.
Okay. And just one other thing for the room. I think most of us are probably over the age of retirement. If you are coming in, particularly to Savannapum, you can actually avoid the visa queues or the immigration queues and go to the quick service section for people who are over, I think, 70 years old. And the same applies when you're boarding an aeroplane. They tend to let you on board if you ask them early.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Just question: is your the price of the visa is confidential, or you can tell us if how much the retirement visa and the renew? Because I have friend always asking me.
I'll talk to you after.
Okay, thank you.
For years, I've been using the same process to renew my retirement visa. The bank's open at 11 o'clock in the morning, get the letter from the bank, and the next day go to immigration. Not this year. No, that's wrong. That's yesterday. You must do it today. So the whole process is different because you can't go to immigration in the morning, right? So you have to go to the bank at 11 o'clock, get the certificate, get the letter, then rush over to immigration in the afternoon. It's a little difficult, but that's the way it's got to be because of the situation. It must be the same day. So what I did was to also bring a copy of the an ATM slip that said 8 o'clock this morning. This is the money in the bank. 2.5 million baht in the bank. No good. The letter says yesterday. No good. Run back to the bank, get a new letter, go to immigration, rush. They don't really give a damn, do they?
Have you been here for the whole of my speech today?
Yeah.
Do you remember the one word I used? Discretionary powers by an immigration officer. So if I have a customer who helps and I help them in your situation, it can be 24 hours. It's just up to that immigration officer. Okay? There's nothing in writing to say same day, 24 hours. It's just how they feel at the time. I'm sorry you experienced that.
I'm accustomed to it 25 years, right?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for very clear presentation. But I have one more question. If I want to renew my driver license before 6 months, because I will leave country soon and back after when my license expired, what I need to do?
Nothing. You cannot.
No, can't.
You cannot. No.
Okay.
6 months. That's it.
And if I come back after, and yeah.
So you can renew up to 1 year after expiry. Okay. However, you cannot legally drive in that time.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stay here a long time, and I did my visa with an agent many years. Many years. But now I like to change it because I have so many time and I can stay everywhere. I don't, and my visa expired on start in November.
Okay.
And I've been for the translation. They told me I have to translate my retirement document 4 weeks before I make the new visa. And I try to do it now, but they say in 4 weeks it will be not guilty, and I have to do it short time before.
What document's that? What documents you have to translate?
For my retirement fee.
To prove that you have pension payments coming in?
Pension, yeah. For my money, what is coming in German. Okay. And I have to have 65,000 Thai baht, and I have to change it and translate it. But my question is, when I change it, is there something different with my health insurance, or is it the same?
Health insurance does not affect it unless you have a non-OA visa. Do you have non-O or non-OA?
I have the best, what do they say? I don't know the name.
If you have a non-OA retirement visa, which means you made your retirement visa in Germany.
No, I made it here.
So you have a non-O?
Yeah.
There is no health insurance requirement.
Sorry?
There are no health insurance requirements on the
okay, thank you.
Hello, Doctor. A couple of things. You mentioned the LTR visa. that you didn't mention. And if I recall correctly, it requires health insurance of a certain amount, or either that or cash available of a certain amount. Is that correct?
I don't do this service, so I don't know everything. I just know about the $80,000 per year.
Okay. Most of the information you've given on immigration is on our website, and we do try to keep it current based on reports from our members and other expats. As far as the bank letter date being the discretion of the immigration officer, I did my renewal in mid-June, and my letter from K-Bank was dated the day before, and there was no problem with it.
Correct.
On the subject of the elite visa, it will cost you about $300 a month or thereabouts, taken over the 10-year period. And everything is simple and hassle-free, and it's worth every penny.
Yeah, thank you. Interesting, everything.
Thank you.
Totally confusing, but I've taken a photo. I've taken a photograph of everything, so look at it my age. Anyhow, one of the items missing on your fines, right? And it came out about 3 years ago. If you drive your motorbike on the inside of the car, you're breaking the law. Now, I fell foul of that. I got a helmet on, got everything. I travelled on the inside. Policeman stopped me the other side. So I pulled up and I said, yes. He said, I see your driving licence. Yeah. Got my helmet on, so he couldn't ask that. Insurance, got that. And then he started to write it out. And he said, I said, whoa. I said, what are you writing? He said, you came on the side of that vehicle and you broke the law. Never heard of it before. And I'm standing there and all these Thai motorbikes are going past, 2 or 3 people, no bloody helmet.
I think there would be some very rich transport police officers if they stopped all of us for undertaking on motorbikes. So you were very unlucky.
Is there a law?
I've no idea.
Well,
I'm not an expert on road traffic, unfortunately, just driving licenses.
Just a small thing in what the gentleman queried back there about the 1-year visa. I'm with the Kaiserkorn Bank for the last 17 years. And if you're going to jump in immigration, as a routine, I do my 1-year visa within a couple of hours the same morning, because you go there, opens at 9 o'clock, they give you the letter, and then you go up to immigration. The Kaiserkorn Bank is an advantage because it's so close to the jumped in immigration. I don't know about other banks, but that's all I would advise as a tip.
Okay.
And I was only joking about the driving license. My reflexes are okay. I wouldn't drive if I couldn't see my reflexes were.
Today we've mentioned retirement visa, LTR visa, but it could be one more interesting option that is quite new. If you have a property here, over 3 million Thai baht under foreign quarter, long stay visa. Can you say some words about long stay visa for people here?
Okay, again, I'm not an expert. I understood they were trialing that in Phuket, but it's not being rolled out to the whole country. I might be wrong, but that's what I was aware of. So,
hello, Duncan. I promise I'm not on a commission. I just want to say we've been here, me and my wife, for 4 years. And we've always got our visa through Duncan. He helped me get my 2-year driving license, our 5-year driving license. And when we had the Bangkok bank thing, he helped us change our bank with minimal fuss at all. We spend a little bit of time in his office. We get chauffeured around here, there and everywhere. And basically it makes our life an absolute dream. I don't spend months and weeks and days stressing about it. And I don't spend hours in any offices, any departments. This guy and his wife do everything for us. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so anyone that I said I would speak to after the speech, please meet me in the foyer and I'll have a chat with you. Elizabeth, thank you so much for inviting me. I hope it's not a year next time. Thank you guys for all coming today. It's great to see some old faces, especially Barry, and some new faces too. I've got some business cards here on the table if you want to come and grab those. And until next time, thank you so much.
Yeah, Barry, that's a good idea. You need to found a band called the Old Faces, okay? Not the New Faces, all right? So that was really fantastic, and sent a number of people to him, and they've all been very, very happy with the results. So yeah, I do personally recommend him. Small token of our appreciation. Pose for the camera.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you again. It was really wonderful.